Hi, my beautiful people. This is Platinum Rose with the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 9, Episode 9. I loved it. And with that being said, let's get started! Okay, so the opening scene is Cynthia and Kenya going to a place to clean their own dogs. And I don't get it. Everyone has a sprawling crib. If you're going to clean your own dog, why are you not cleaning your own dog in one of your multiple bathrooms? Which is what I do now. I used to take my dog to the dog groomer, and just like Cynthia's cutie pie, my dog started getting a little nervous. And she did that one too many times. So I said, let me back up off of this external grooming a little bit, because in fact, one time she came back, she had a blood clot in her eye. Her whole white was red, like when I had my surgeries. So I said, let me calm down with this grooming thing, because, you know, grooming is actually a jailbird job. I shouldn't say that, but it is one of those jobs that you can get no matter what your background record is. And there are a million groomers where I live, because everyone has some type of animal. There's pet hospitals and dog grooming businesses everywhere. So anyway, that being said, if you're going to groom your own dog, do it at your house. I mean, why go to... Anyway, that's filler scene. Because Cynthia didn't know nothing about that. If you're going to groom. Don't take your dog somewhere to groom the dog yourself. So basically, during that scene, Kenya is expressing to Cynthia that Matt has been tripping a little bit lately, because of course she asked about Peter, and Cynthia boomerangs the question back, as she should, to see what's going on with Matt, because Matt was tripping the last time Cynthia heard. Kenya informed Cynthia that yes, he is still tripping. When he's good, he's good. But when he's tripping, he's tripping. So Cynthia seems a little disappointed in that, as am I, and she lets Cynthia know that she's been invited to speak at Peter's opening of his new club. Same conversation. And Cynthia seems a little floored that Kenya would even consider hosting Peter's opening. And it is weird because, when you break up as a couple, who gets the friends? Cynthia and Kenya were friends first. So she's a little confused as to why Kenya would even say yes. And as to why Peter would even ask her. So Kenya says she said yes. But she won't do it if Cynthia says no. But she knows Cynthia's a nice person. So there's no way Cynthia is going to say, don't do it. But in the meantime, Cynthia has not been invited. So Cynthia's like, wait a minute. Everyone's going to this thing except me. He didn't even invite me at all. The hell? So Kenya, being a good friend, says, come with me. Come with me. You'll be my date. You'll be my guest. Since I'm hosting, the host can bring one guest at least, right? And you my girl. So come on. And Cynthia says, okay. She was going to end up in there somehow, some way, because production needs her there. Production needs the ratings. Scott Tucker, Candy Scott, is out with Peter looking at whips. And these cars are nice. You guys know I'm a car girl. So Peter's all like, I need to get a new car since the FBI, the feds have taken all the ill-gotten cars that I got through Apollo. Now, I don't know that that's the case, but we do know that he got a car through Apollo, who was scamming and scheming and frauding folks. So now that Apollo's in the pen for 8 years, minimally, Peter needs a new whip. And so he's all like, I got my new club, I got my new whatever. You ain't heard that from me? I need a new ride for the opening of my new club and just to suit my lifestyle. So come with me to look at whips, Todd. And Todd's all like, okay, since every scene we've seen Candy driving around in the Corvette she gave him. Even on this episode, I believe we even see Candy with her ass in there again. So Todd's all like, shoot, I'm going to have to get a new whip myself because Candy's ass... Shit, he doesn't say that though. So they're looking at cars, and Peter's all like going through his full midlife crisis, getting the hottest whip he can find and afford. And that car costs as much as 3 houses in Atlanta. That car was $159,000. I don't know if that's the one he got or if he got one at all. But when they put the price up for the car, it was quite pricey. So, I don't know if Peter talked himself into getting paid for Real Housewives, but before he gets any whip, he needs to pay Cynthia back her money. He running around opening up clubs and buying cars. Pay Cynthia her chips. So then you see Kenny and Todd. And by the way, I loved that living room that they were in. I loved all the furniture and the furnishings. That's my taste too. So Candy is like, this restaurant we're trying to do is sucking us dry. She didn't say that to Todd she says that in her talking head. The restaurant is costing them an arm and a leg, and she needs to get that bedroom candy porn stuff popping again. And she has it set up like Mary Kay. So she has individual reps, and the reps throw parties, and the parties bring in money for the reps that they split with Candy. So she's doing a convention basically for bedroom candy, and she's all like, this has got to work, and it's got to, we have to teach these people how to sell. She has some motivational speakers coming in, and it's a grand event. So then some hater forwards a Instagram post to them that is basically this dude that used to work for her who was slacking, and she had to fire him earlier. But Candy is a giver. I have to give it to Candy. Candy is a giver, and she embraces her haters, and she'll try to help people out. But each and every time we've seen that happen, Candy gets kicked in her damn teeth. I am shocked she has any teeth left at all, because here's another instance. First it was Kim. These are the ones we've seen. Who knows how many times she got kicked in her teeth before this. Kim, who ended up getting multiple shows, got crazy money off of Candy's record that she did for her, gave Candy got $3,000 out of it. Kim got $80,000 plus out of it off of iTunes and other additional outlets, and that was when we counted last. I'm sure it's a lot more now. And then we see how she'll give jobs to the community, and they'll talk about her like a dog behind her back. So here's yet another instance of that. She's given this guy a job, and he's been on for years, we find out later, but he's been slacking, like big time, because he has his own business, right? Which makes sense. But if you had your own business, why are you even accepting, first of all, if you're working for someone else, if you're working for someone, period, your own business or not, you do the best on that job that you possibly can. And you never want to get fired for not doing enough, right? So this is apparently how he feels. He's been fired for not doing enough. And Candy had to fire him, but she knows he's capable of the work, but she knows about the other business. And Candy, to me, is not a hater where you can't have your own business, but don't not handle the business she pays you for, because you can't do both, is what I'm gathering. You guys leave in the comments below what you feel about this. So in the meantime, she's had to fire this dude, but she still has hired him for this convention, because he's a jack of all trades, and she'll pay him contractually, which makes sense. And to me, as an entrepreneur, I prefer to pay people by contract, per job, by contract, not as an employee. Like her Don Juan is her manager. He manages her multiple businesses, so he, I would guess, is getting a salary. And other people that work for her, they're getting a salary. But some people don't have the work ethic, right? That if they're getting a salary, they're not going to be working all the time for you. They're on your dime, but they're not handling your business. And apparently this is what this guy was doing. Not handling her business. He's handling his business before he's handling hers. And she's still paying him. But she's still cool with him, because she knows, you got to do what you got to do, but you can't do it for me, if you're not going to do it for me. Anyway, so she's like, I need to talk about this, because the Instagram that the hater has forwarded them is a picture of all of them, and the dude has said this is before the people started getting fake, or I realized people were fake. So Candy's of course disgusted, and she said several times, you can call me anything you want to call me, but don't call me fake. That's the kiss of death, being called fake. Call me a bitch, she even says. I'm like, oh, okay. Basically, you could call anybody anything you want to call, because sticks and stones. But I guess Mama Joyce didn't teach her that. But she is getting, her business is getting hurt by this dude calling her fake. And her feelings are hurt, because she's like, I did above and beyond what you deserved, and now you're going to call me fake behind my back, but publicly. Very passive aggressive. How about in the flashbacks, they show Portia's mama. Woo! I have to hand it to her. She was a big girl just a couple of years ago, and she has lost a lot of weight. And what's interesting when I say that, we don't realize how big we get. I've been a big girl. And we don't realize it until we look at pictures. This time, 2 years ago, I was 19 pounds heavier than I am right now. And a year ago, I was 10 pounds heavier than I am right now. But in my defense, I was trying to bodybuild. Some of you guys might remember that. And I stayed hurt. I stayed hurt because I was always trying to do too much. But anyway, Portia's mama. Well, how about Sheree shows up in a jumpsuit? Nice as hell. Sheree really, I like the way Sheree dresses. You know, she doesn't get, I mean, I guess she doesn't dress up a lot on this show. And I don't even know that this is considered dressing up, but it's different and it's nice and it looked nice on her. She still had on that wig though. And none of us can stand. I don't know how she looks at this and says, oh, that looks cute. And she's filming that day, but whatever. I digress. Anyway, Sheree has written a tell-all book. Everybody's writing books. You know, Sheree is definitely a hustler. She's definitely a hustler. She's hustling all the time. She's trying different stuff out. It's unfortunate that Bob points out, yeah, you're a hustler, but you don't finish squat. And we do remember She by Sheree. Epic fail. But in Sheree's defense, most multi-millionaires, not 2-3 million, multiple, like 30-50 million and up, they have tried on average 3 times before they hit it huge. So the other part of it is, if you try something and you're good at it and you're doing well, just because you're making money does not mean you should stay doing it. In my opinion, I believe. You have to be happy doing whatever you're going to do. Then it's hard not to make money. But if you're doing something just for the money, it's really difficult to be just happy. And you have to be ready to do something else in case. You see, remember you guys on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that guy who had millions and millions, Taylor's husband, and when he wasn't making the millions and millions anymore, he ended up hanging himself. Because I don't know that he didn't know anything else to do, or if he just had chemical imbalance. But you always should be ready to pick yourself up. If you did it once, you could do it again. Period. Point blank. So what will make me get this book immediately is she spills the tea on Nene, who is lightly veiled in the book as a stripper turned non-stripper. And then they show old pictures of Nene looking toe up from the floor up. So at the event, Candy's event, her bedroom candy event, her creator, one of her creators shows up and she's showing this weird dildo. And the dildo's for bisexual or gay women, I guess. I mean, there's a top and a bottom. And they should not be showing Candy like she has never seen it. She's at the thing to reveal, she's at her event to reveal her products. And this is her first time seeing the damn product. So it's like, so for those who are not business minded, I guess, if you're looking at it from the patron's point of view, I should say, not who's not business minded, but I would want you to know what you're going to have us selling before the freaking convention in advance. And then once again, and I don't know, maybe this is an Atlanta thing, but the dude that she has a conflict with that came with the posted the Instagram post about her being fake, he's at the event because he's part of the event. He put on some of the event. So, like I said, I'm not sure if this is an Atlanta thing, but Why do you confront someone negatively at your own event? I don't get it. So Kandi confronts this dude, and he pretty much says, I don't like the way I was fired. First of all, when you fire someone, you have to explain exactly why you're letting them go, which apparently Kandi did not do, and Don Juan did not do. So dude acted like he was blindsided. There were no warnings. There were no, and if you're an employee, you should be given a heads up before you're axed. So I don't know if they gave him any warnings, but he's acting like he did not get any warnings. And Don Juan, of course, is there because this is an event and he's a manager. So the guy is kind of passive aggressively not trying to go there with Kandi because he did want her to say something, I guess. That's why he posted the Instagram. And Kandi's ruining her event by confronting him about it at her event. The minute when she was talking to Todd about it and they were in their crib, she could have called dude over that day, that time, whatever, or visited him or made a phone call, whatever, did a FaceTime, whatever. But no, she's going to wait till her event and she's going to confront him and it's going to get turned up. He's all like, well, you know, she's all like, you were not doing what you were supposed to do for me because you had your own thing. He's all like, well, you weren't paying me enough for what I was doing for you. And I worked for you for a long time. What up? And nobody said squat. I just got blindsided with a firing. I got let go. And I didn't understand why. So Kandi should have made an appointment with him then to, let's talk about this later. Not even an appointment. Let's talk about this later. You know, Kandi immediately with the shaky voice and all that. I would have been like, you know what? I couldn't give a fuck. You got fired. You're out. You're done. I'm you know, because now it looks, Kandi looks worse now, really, to me. Because now it looks like if you work for her, you're not going to get paid what you're worth and you got to be tippy-toeing around because you could be fired at any time. So she had more to lose on that. Kandi did have a good point, though. She's like, well, you thought you weren't getting paid what you were worth, but you were still collecting the check. Why didn't you say something then? Instead of just slacking. Because obviously, dude didn't, you know, he didn't have a whole bunch of options, so he's going to do the work. He was just not going to do it. He collect a check, which a lot of folks do. Which a lot of folks do. This is why you have to pay people what they're worth, and it has to be clear. You're supposed to ask them, what do you expect? You know, I don't know. I don't know how Kandi does her contracts. Everything should be in writing, and everything should be clear as hell. But we've seen Kandi, like I said, with the Kim situation and all the play situation. You have to get things in writing and have a clear understanding. No one can read minds. Some people can read minds, but in business, when you're getting work done and trying to put something together, you cannot assume that people can read minds. Portia. I would be so embarrassed if I was you. Because in my dating days, I didn't have to do all this for a dude. Ugh. The dude acts like this Todd, second Todd number 2. Todd from beyond, from back in the day, seems so not into Portia. Number one, she has to trick him to come over. She's back with her mama, by the way, because she got her house, but she's ending her lease, so there's a little bridge in there before she can move into the new house. So she has now moved back with her mama, and she has to trick this dude into coming over to her house. She has to trick Todd into coming over to her house to be with him. What? Do you have no sex appeal at all? Dude doesn't seem like he's into you. Dude's like, oh, I thought we were going to go out. He was shaking in his boots. He's like, oh, God. Oh! Production says Portia up every time. This dude he's not interested, clearly. So she has snuck him into the house like she's 12. Not 12, oof. Like she's 16, right? And he's up in her bedroom. She's all like, shh. And Portia's goofy as hell. You know, I think I figured it out what the problem is with Portia. Number one, if you are trying to get a dude to be serious about you and to be into you, you have to be into him enough to ask him some questions. Each and every relationship we see Portia in, clearly she doesn't ask any questions. Not enough questions at all. She has no idea what these guys are into. They have no idea what she's into. She has no real idea of their background. All she knows is this guy has 2 kids that he has raised, 2 boys, a 14 and a 16-year-old. But you don't ask anything else. It's like the personality, there's no normal conversation. There's no, his clothes were on like, oh God, this chick. I don't know if her breath stinks, if her feet stink, if her coochie stinks. I don't know what the problem is with Portia. But dudes are not interested. And that's all number 1. Number 2, if you're really seriously trying to get with a dude, and this is, I want to say, and I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from, but when you meet a dude that you want to be serious with you, don't have all of this. Don't have all the fake stuff. All that extra the lashes she wears too much, all this extra long hair. I'm married. I could do this. My husband when I met my husband, which is coming up on 24 years, I didn't have all this. I was normal. I was out at a party, but I didn't have a full face of makeup on. All this extra hair, that wasn't the style back then anyway. I had my own hair. Take all that extra shit off, right? Even if you meet him with it on, quickly show him who you are without all that stuff. I don't know what's going on with Portia's butt. I don't know if she's had fat enhanced. We know she has the fake boobs. Dudes that are trying to be serious about a female enough to marry them, most that are about something aren't about all that shit. Okay? So just, if you're serious about trying to be married, Portia, your time is ticking. It's never too late to be married. But, if you're trying to have kids, you don't want to... Janice just had a baby at 50, so let me just be quiet. She introduces this egg that they came in contact with the last episode. And it's like, what are you doing? Oh my God. And he tried to co-sign that her coochie was still tight, but I want to say either his thing was too little or her shit was too busted open, because you could tell she was trying to coax him into trying to act like her coochie was okay. First of all, and fifth of all, you introduced him to your parents, to your mom, and your sister and your brother. You had him to dinner to announce that y'all were going to try to get together and have a family and all of this stuff. Y'all haven't boned yet? Really? That is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy, Portia. And the storyline is ridiculous. So anyway, she's got this egg out and everything. And if I was him, I would be running for the hills. So I'm sure that didn't help. She needs tricks and to help her down there. Oh. So once again, Bob. Sheree's Bob Whitfield. Is there a doctor on the set? Because dude over sweats. And I would be very nervous. Sheree doesn't seem too nervous though. They're at this place. Sheree's in good shape. We all already know that. But how about I was surprised when Bob's big ass hopped up on that thing. But then I quickly got de-escalated when he jumped down off of the thing into a big thick mat and was hurt. That's comedy though. I loved it. So this is another reason why I also like big dudes. You see how he was able to pick her up at the end of their scene? Big dudes can do that. So you could be fat or skinny, doesn't matter. Because a big dude can pick you up when you need to be picked up. So Sheree, during this workout, she tells Bob that she has this tell-all book that's coming out. And he does seem a little nervous. He doesn't know what's going to be in that book. He's all like, I need a pre-copy. It doesn't matter, Bob. If you're in the book, you're in the book. Who gives a fuck? At this point, you done lived your life and whatever. You know, if anything, you should be trying to work out a percentage of that damn book. We know you're trying to hook back up with Sheree because Sheree's a hard worker. And when y'all at 80, Sheree will still be hustling. That's what you need to be concerned with. So, how about old boy who used to work for Candy, who has now been terminated, goes to Phaedra, of all people. You know, I don't know what type of law Phaedra's supposed to even be practicing anymore, because we haven't seen her. Well, it is a reality show, but Phaedra, Candy's arch enemy. That's who he goes to talk about his lawsuit for wrongful firing. And Faye just like, yay! Good. Sue that bitch. She goes, yeah, you have a good case. Well, you know what? I took some law classes at Howard. And I'm not a lawyer, but wrongful termination, but you know what? She passed on the case. She passed him on to, she gave him a list of names, you know, but she doesn't want him to let up because, you know, the more candy gets dragged, the better. Crazy. Frey just evil as hell to me. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Evil. But you know what? Phaedra doesn't know a whole lot about law, I'm going to venture to say, because the two people who really should be enemies on this show are Sheree and Phaedra, because it was Phaedra who lost that case against Bob Whitfield when Sheree was getting her divorce. Okay? Now, Bob, he is very smart. He went to a top school. But Phaedra was not prepared. Remember, you guys? Just saying. So, in conclusion, Kenya and Matt, Peter, Cynthia. So, Peter has invited Matt to the opening of his new club. Matt has accepted. Peter is going to pay for Matt's plane ticket to fly out and probably his hotel as well. Peter asked Kenya first if she would be comfortable with Matt coming. Kenya at first says yes. Peter pays for the ticket. And you guys remember when this happened because it was all over Instagram and all the blogs, where Matt left a Instagram explaining that he was ready to go and Kenya canceled his damn ticket. I'm going to have to get some new batteries for my Canon PowerShot, what is this? Rebel T3i. And the batteries are going. I have 3 batteries and I go through all of them, and this video is not an hour long. Anyway, I have to order some new batteries. Basically, Kenya made Peter's event about her. I don't like that. I'm glad Peter opened up another club. I'm sorry that it cost him his marriage, because now he's opening up an Atlanta club. So it's like, why didn't you do the Atlanta club first? But whatever. He's in North Carolina. Everyone's in North Carolina, and he's happy. Whatever. But the craziest thing about this episode is that Cynthia and Peter, of course, are getting a divorce. The divorce is almost final at this point. Cynthia showed up unannounced. Peter was, I guess, happy to see her. And Peter asked her to, without fully asking her, he says he's 3 blocks from the club. He's 3 blocks from the club. So he's asking her to go back home with him. And Cynthia said, no. She goes, awkward. Oh, I felt so bad for Peter. You can tell immediately he's upset. You know, but Cynthia's so nice. She's complimenting him. He's, you know, nice, and she's proud of him and everything. Peter mistook it. Peter mistook it and misread the signs. But you know what? That, to me, well, I'm not going to surmise anything. But it was real convenient. His apartment is 3 blocks away. He spent a lot of time trying to get that club together with his apartment being 3 blocks away. So, take that for what you will. And that was the end of the episode. I loved it. I was there for it. Please leave your comments on the episode below. And please remember to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.